What's going on, everybody? Today is Canelo week. Canelo fights Dimitri Bivol. I feel like the build up for this fight has been very low. Part of that has to do that not really many people are that familiar with Bivol. Bivol is barely known in Russia, his own country, let alone America. Also, he does speak English, but with a very heavy accent. Not a trash talker, not a flamboyant kind of guy. Has turned in a few bad, boring performances in the past. And yeah, this also wasn't a fight the fans really were asking for. It's a competitive fight. It's definitely a 50-50 fight. This is not a fight. I'm not saying that, oh, Canelo took this fight. It's not a totally uncompetitive. Is this, is that. I'm not saying that at all. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a fight that nobody really was asking for. And quite honestly, I'm surprised Canelo went this route. I wouldn't have gone this route. Why would you pick a guy who's bigger than you, taller than you, but also not very popular? And even though he's better than Andrade, Benavidez, and Charlo, you're going to get less credit for beating Bivol than you are for beating one of the previous guys I just mentioned. So I don't understand why Canelo went this route as far as picking him. The buzz has been low, but if you're a hardcore boxing fan, as I am, you know that this is a competitive fight. You know that Bivol definitely has a chance in winning. Um, I, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you guys a full breakdown. So the way I see this fight going, right? Well, first, let me say there's a potential of Canelo losing this fight. There is, and I'm gonna break it down why. Canelo is somebody who has a very high boxing IQ, doesn't mind losing the early rounds because he's adjusting to what somebody's doing. He looks what what he likes to do when he throws his left hook, and it catches his rhythm, loses the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then adjusts and just starts turning it up. That's what he starts doing. But then, with Bivol has such good footwork that may cost him. You may give up the first 4 or 5 rounds because you're trying to figure him out and then adjust. But he has such good footwork and so much taller than you and has such a good jab. What if when you're adjusting, you may be winning a little bit more rounds, but you're still losing most of them, and you already gave up the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then you lose a decision that way. This is quite honestly, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to Canelo, this is a stupid choice of opponent. Is an opponent who's not very known, an opponent the fans weren't asking to see. Like I don't know nobody that was saying, yeah, I really, really want to see Canelo Bivol. I haven't heard one, and I'm very active on Twitter. I'm on Twitter Spaces. I talk on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I've never heard that. And when I talk to the hardcores or the casuals around the streets of New York, they don't tell me they want to see that fight. So I really don't see why he went this route, especially since it's such a dangerous route. But the way I see the fight going, I mentioned how the potential of how Canelo could lose it, but I'm picking Canelo to win by decision. The way I see that fight going is, again, Canelo loses the first 4 or 5 rounds, but within those first 4 or 5 rounds, he's landing body shots because he does have the hand speed advantage, as well as Bivol tends to fade a little bit in fights. Canelo does as well, but not as much as Bivol, I want to say. And since Canelo's such a great body puncher, Bivol's such a tall fighter, the body's right there to be hit. So, yeah, I think he's going to start breaking him down and then wear on him, and I think he's going to win by unanimous decision. I don't think he gets the stoppage. And quite honestly, I'll be very impressed and surprised if Canelo Alvarez moves up to 175 after just undisputed 168 and knocks out a champion in the weight class above him. That would really impress me. That would probably be his second best win behind the Golovkin win. And I'm being honest. I think it'll be better than the Kovalev win, better than the Cotto win, better than Lara, better than Trout, all of them. That would be, if he could get that guy out of there and knock him out, which I don't think he does, I would be very, very impressed. Also, I want to talk about this previous weekend. There was a whole dust up, and I actually got caught in the middle of it, about the numbers this past Saturday that Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez and Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor did, and the numbers came out. And initially, hold on, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna screen share so you guys know what I'm talking about. 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. So initially, I tweeted this. Well, first, let me show you the tweet that I retweeted. It says Stevenson-Valdez average, 1.3 million viewers on ESPN. Audience peaked at 1.4 million. All right. So, and then this says 1.5 million new women's record broadcast audience viewership. So what I thought was that this 1.5 million was in America, and that the Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez was everything, their channel, whoever saw it on TV. But from what I understand, this number is only what people saw on TV. It doesn't count the digital number as far as the Shakur Stevenson numbers. And the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight, actually, those numbers include, worldwide numbers. So worldwide, 1.5 million tuned into the Amanda Serrano fight. So technically, the people, and by the way, this goes to show that I was actually right. I predicted that Amanda Serrano fight versus Katie Taylor is a bigger fight, meaning it's more important. But I also predicted that Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez will be viewed by more people, just because, obviously more men are interested in watching women's fighting, men fighting, as well as the accessibility. Stevenson was on ESPN. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor were on an app and the Zone, and it makes it difficult for people who are not familiar with boxing, where to find this fight. Even if they are aware of it, they're like, oh, what channel is it on? The Zone? I got to buy an app. It's $20 a month. I'm not even a hardcore boxing fan. I'm not going to spend $20 a month just to, and it could happen like that. Oh, my man Gusto, shout out to you. Watching from the cubicle, but making sure to tap in. I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that a lot. I think Canelo will break down his body. William says. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I see it as well. Canelo is a very fantastic body puncher. We all know that Mexicans are known for that body work. Yeah, he's going. So yes, I agree. He is going to break him down. But if you talk about breaking him down to get the stoppage, I don't see that. I don't see him getting the stoppage. Yo, Michael, you close to getting banned from this channel, brother. You close to getting banned. So I'm gonna need you to relax there, bro. I'm gonna need you to relax. But yeah, man, I'm going to pin the link to the top of the chat. I'm going to do this shit early, man. I usually pin it a little later, but anybody who wants to call in, click that link. It'll take you to a website. And from there, we can have a boxing conversation. You guys can ask me questions. Not necessarily, doesn't have to be about last week's fight and next week's fight. It could be this week's fight. It could be about anything at all, as far as regarding boxing, obviously. And by the way, I apologize for coming on a little bit late. I'm a new father, man. This shit is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, man. Yeah, don't laugh too hard, Michael. Don't laugh too hard. You get your ass booted. But yeah, man. By the way, this undercard is actually decent. Although, if you guys were looking forward to the Zhang Philip Hrgovic fight, I have bad news. Philip Hrgovic had to pull out because his father passed away, and that's unfortunate for him. So my condolences to him and his family. His father passed away, so he obviously is not in the mental state to be in a fight. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people were dancing around him getting his IBF eliminator fight, and then he finally found somebody to step up, and now he's the one who has to pull out because his father passed away. It's unfortunate, but God bless him and his family, and I hope he comes back and everything, as far as he's as good as he can be. But again, this Canelo fight, I'm super excited because, again, this is a fight where I genuinely believe that Canelo Alvarez could easily win this fight. I really do. I mean, lose this fight. And a lot of times that's not the case. A lot of times it's like, even when he is fighting the number 3 guy, the number 2 ranked guy, It's like Canelo's so much better. Like Caleb Plant, although Caleb Plant is a good fighter, and I gave him a slight chance to win. I still pretty much was very confident that Canelo was going to knock him out. I believe it was an 8th round knockout. And he got stopped. No, I believe I predicted, 8th round knockout. He got stopped in the 11th. So, I wasn't too surprised. Again, this fight, I am not predicting a knockout whatsoever from either fighter. I see this fight going 12. I am picking Canelo to be the victor, but believe me, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not. I really wouldn't. It's a close fight, man. It really is. Let me show you guys the undercard, and we can have a conversation about it. Because the undercard is actually decent. Unfortunately, the Fila Hrgovic fight is no longer going to be there. But yeah. So we got Montana Love. He's fighting Gabriel Goyas Valenzuela. This is an IBF North American super lightweight title. This is again, the reason I bring up the regional championships is because when you win one of these regional belts, you move up pretty high in the rankings. So it looks like Montana Love is going the IBF route. Currently, the IBF champion is Josh Taylor, who's obviously undisputed, but it looks like he's going to move up. This will move him up in the rankings. Right now in the IBF, rank number 1 is Jeremias Ponce from Argentina. Number 2 is Subrio Matias, Michael's favorite fighter. Yeah, so it looks like they'll fight for a vacant, but if he keeps working his way up these IBF rankings, IBF usually gives their fighters an opportunity to fight for that belt. So that may be a fight we'll be seeing in the future. The winner of Ponce versus Matias. And by the way, I like Montana Love. He just got to make weight. He got to make weight. He has a bad habit of missing weight. He missed weight in his last fight. And according to, hold on, I got a caller. Gusto, my man, what's up, my brother?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. What's up?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Sitting here, you gonna hear the typing and the clicking in the background. Sitting in here on the cubicle side of the game. What's going on?
Nah, you good, man. You good. What do you think of this fight this weekend, man?
I mean, man, we operate through a lot of the same spaces. I mean, for me, is it the fight I want to see? Of course, no. I mean, do I think Bivol is a world level competitor? Absolutely. I think this will be the most difficult fight. If, for those of us who actually understand boxing and Bivol's movement and all of that, like he's not, I said this in Bleep Talk his tweet, for those of y'all out there, get on Twitter Spaces. You're missing out.
Yeah, for sure.
But listen, man, I think this isn't the same Bivol who was on HBO. Like, so people who've kind of pushed that narrative, like the older footage, this isn't that. He's become an absolute beast with boxing, being sufficient, with working a solid jab, body shots, and movement. He's everything that you wouldn't expect from if you were watching him on HBO 3 to 4 years ago. So, I mean, I think it's the most difficult fight on paper that Canelo's had probably since, I'd say, Lara or the first Triple G fight.
No, I agree. And what's interesting to me is I think this could have been the most difficult fight he could have chose, and it's also that's why I don't accept when people say he's ducking Andrade and Benavidez and Charlo, because to me, Bivol, if you're not fighting those guys, but you're fighting a guy who's more difficult, to me that's not a duck. How do you feel about that?
So I mean, I'm somebody who, because I understand it as both a boxing fan, but I also understand the business. There are people who they may not have agreed with the way Floyd Mayweather did certain things towards the end of his career, but really they didn't take into account. It was by that time he'd established himself as Pretty Boy Floyd, doing the hard work. I tell people one of the greatest fights I've ever watched on TV was sitting there with a bunch of relatives watching him versus Diego Chico Corrales. That was a hell of a fight, because I had people in my household who we really thought Chico was going to get him, because he was such a dog and he was a true warrior. God rest his soul. At the same time, I understood Floyd when he became money. He made money moves. So do I think Canelo was ducking? I can say he's ducking. I'll always say he's making the best decisions for him, because for everybody who yells someone is a duck, look, man, y'all cheer for these boxers now, but most people, they're not gonna care. You know, Joe Louis was out working private security and standing out as a greeter and a concierge in front of like hotels in Vegas.
What's next?
Yeah.
Got to go upstairs and watch me some movies.
A-side, I don't know. You got background noise, man.
Oh yeah, I got you. Let me
look. At first, I thought that was Nike. I was like, "What?"
Nah.
That's
truth.
my wife.
That's truth, man. That's our guy, truth, man.
No. I saw truth, and it was the beard. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a difficult fight for him. I think the opposite. I think Bivol at times, if it's the Bivol who showed up against my man with the multi-syllabic Eastern Bloc European name in the last fight, who kind of just plodded forward and was there.
Umar Salamov.
Yeah, if it's the Salamov fight and the guy who showed up against Craig Spider Richards, that wasn't a really extremely active jabbing, moving around Bivol. That was really a stationary kind of.
He's not that old. He's not that old, so I don't know why he turned in those kinds of performances.
Let's keep it in context. Remember the Craig Richards fight he was coming off like a year plus layoff before that fight.
Right.
I want to say he hadn't fought since like the end of 19 or the end of 20 before he fought Craig Richards. It had been a while, like a long time. So I think the Craig Richards fight was a little bit of ring rust, but I think that Dimitri Bivol just has been comfortable, just like guys like Demetrius Andrade, guys like Shakur Stevenson. Well, not lately, but like, he's been comfortable with the level of competition. Some guys don't. He's lost that killer instinct where it's like, you know what, I see you're hurt and I'm going for the knockout. You know what I'm saying? Bivol's a live dog in this fight. And,
sure.
I think that certain guys, and I think people are not looking at the fact that certain people get up with the lights. Certain people, when they see those lights in Las Vegas and all of that, that's gonna make them get up. Now, a lot of people think that, you know what, man, the lights are gonna be too much for him. Canelo's gonna find a way. But when you just look at this matchup, just stylistically, I think Bivol has a lot of. I think he's the favorite stylistically. You know what I mean? The longer reach. Canelo is a great mid-range to end fighter. Canelo may not be able to have enough reach to kind of sit down on those body punches. Dimitri Bivol doesn't sit on the inside and exchange much, right? People say, yeah, his body's open, but we've never seen anybody establish a body attack. This man has 19 wins that either come by KO or UD. He has never lost on any judge's scorecard in 19 fights. I think that's saying a lot. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, obviously he got to get in the ring and prove it versus Canelo Alvarez. But not even that this guy don't know how to lose a fight. The dude has never lost a card. Period. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that says a lot as well.
This is, to be honest, as far as you saying that, you know, some fighters step up when the lights are bright. You know, that's another factor. He's never been on this stage, you know, and that may be a good thing. That may be a bad thing. I have no idea. I don't know how he handles pressure, but he's stepping up in his first big fight, pay-per-view fight against the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, who is also a puncher. Is he a puncher at 175? I don't know, but he knocked out Kovalev. So I definitely see your point. Listen, Bivol is a live dog. If he came out on Saturday night and won, I would not be surprised. I would be like, shit, you know, it's kind of like how I saw it. It's a 50-50 fight. I just don't know how he handles that pressure.
So I think the trick with Bivol is, you know, whether if you're, you know, I call it what it is, if you're someone who's a Canelo hater or you're an absolute Canelo man fan, this is the first time, I believe, since Laura, where Canelo is fighting someone who isn't, quote unquote, you know, I say this all the time. I believe Canelo's in the Floyd stage of his career. People disagree. Look, you get to make the business decisions that you want when you become the star that you are. This is the first person who he's fighting who I believe is still slightly trending upward since Laura. So this is the first real live dog. You know, Triple G was the boogeyman, etc. But that second fight was totally different from the first fight. And, you know, we could say it was close. It was this. Look, man, the records say L. It is what it is. this is the first real live dog he's had. What year was that Lara fight? What was
2014.
that?
2014.
So we're looking at almost a decade ago before he fought someone who was still at the time trending upwards in their career. The wealth of these other people, no offense against a Billy Joe or a Callum Smith, but they were no longer trending upwards.
What about Caleb Plant though? What about Caleb Plant? Caleb Plant is only 29 years old.
So I believe the difference. So I believe the difference with Caleb Plant was this: anyone who. So I bet on Caleb Plant for this. Number one, I'm not a degenerate gambler, but I don't like gambling. I like winning. I bet Caleb Plant. All right, maybe he gets a decision. But I understood that nowhere in Caleb Plant's history did he ever have great jab, great boxer, slick defense, nowhere near being a power puncher. That's just not him. If he would get you out, it would be death by 1,000 cuts. He's not going to be a one-punch knockout artist. But when it came to Caleb Plant, I knew, look, man, if you go out here and you UD him, it's going to be tougher. The judges are the judges. Boxing is boxing. But at no point did I ever feel Canelo would be in real danger of getting stopped. I'm somebody who knows for you to beat Canelo, you're going to have to stop him. You're not going to UD him. This is not happening. It's not.
Well, I think I think Caleb Plant was a little bit of smoke and mirrors because you said all those great things about him, and I feel the same way. But against who, right? When you look at Caleb Plant's resume, besides Jose Uzcategui, it's nobody. I don't even know those guys. Like maybe Mike Lee, I think, but I don't Mike Dallas, excuse me. But,
Caleb Truax don't do it for you?
What? Do what for me? You know what I mean? And then to that point, right? He fought Caleb Truax, right? Remember he fractured or broke his hand or whatever. Then he didn't fight until the Canelo fight in November. That was January. So you went 11 months. You had to rehab a hand, probably did some sparring, but then then again, I just think I don't even for this fight. We can't look at the Caleb Plant fight. Caleb Plant with his defense, he's a guy who will put his feet in the sand and make you miss with his head movement and waist movement. Dimitri Bivol is a guy that will never put his feet in the sand and will make you miss with his feet, right? Yeah. And so that's and honestly, Bivol doesn't have much head movement at all, right? To be honest. But I just think Caleb Plant was one of those guys that was just putting. I don't like talking bad about fighters. I really don't. But I just think that he was kind of like the American feel good story, if that makes sense. He was the American feel good story, and had he would have won, then I think that we could have parlayed that into like a 3-part movie or something like that.
Okay, I want to address something Gusto said. You said that you're not going to UD Canelo. You can only win by knocking him out.
So
hold on. I'm gonna push back on that because his one loss is a UD. Well, it's actually a majority decision, but whatever. To Mayweather, and then he fought punches like Golovkin twice and Kovalev, and then neither of those fights did he even get dropped, let alone knocked out or hurt. I didn't see him hurt in no fights. And he's faced some punches, whether it be again Triple G. Even Daniel Jacobs could crack a little bit. Kovalev, Kirkland.
So the reason I say you won't UD him is because Canelo has consistently showed that. So use the Kovalev fight. I hate when people use the Anthony Yard thing. He just starched Yard. I mean, Yard was out here getting thrown around in his last fight against that he got the rebound on. Who was the good Lord?
Lyndon Arthur
over there in Europe. It was like, all right, so I mean, yeah, so we got Yard. All right.
You gotta put context to that, Gusto. You gotta put context to that too. Yeah. Remember, that was during COVID.
Yeah.
Lyndon Arthur had lost his dad and his I think his dad and like his grandmother probably like a couple months before that fight. Right? You got to put a little
yeah.
Just literally his dad
COVID
recent
like
his dad, like literally his dad. So he had 12 rounds with that guy and then came out and starched him in like 3.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing I'd say about the Kovalev fight was, if you use that as an example, Kovalev went out there and he was doing something. I mean, no one in here would say Kovalev is a superior quote unquote boxer towards a lot of his opponents. No. We know him as quite literally the crusher. So no one expected him to go out there and, all right, I'm just going to box, move around, and do the Canelo. He never significantly hurt Canelo, all that, but he appeared to be on his way to a unanimous decision. And then what happened? And he gets crushed.
Yeah, he was fading a little bit because Canelo invested in that body work. And then And
like
then,
I said,
he feinted to the body and caught him with the overhand right.
So, like I said, there's not going to be someone for you to beat him. I don't think you go in there and you outbox him because he's different from the person who lost to Floyd. I tell folks there's two things that he learned from Floyd. The first thing was how to become a better boxer. The second thing that he learned was the business of boxing. For every Canelo fan, I tell them you should thank Floyd because he learned those two lessons, which are really two great lessons for the sport. But with that, I don't see anyone going in there outboxing him. I believe you got to go in there on some unorthodox bully type stuff. I mean, a great example to use was, I'd say, if he were in better shape, the first 4 rounds of Cesar against Usyk. Usyk is one of the best, literally pure boxers, even with the power cruiserweight that we've seen. He's the best combo cruiserweight we've seen since Holyfield. It's insane. He could box, he could move, he could body shot, he could pot shot, he could dirty box, he could jab. Absolutely everything. He has a hell of tools. For those first 4 rounds against Cesar, he was getting bullied. And it looked bad.
Yes, man.
But he outweighed him by like 40 pounds. That's not the case in this fight. He does have the size advantage, but not 40, 30 pounds.
But remember, it wasn't necessarily Cesar always leaning on Usyk. It was just Cesar being in the right position. Hey, look, I'm not going to worry about you cutting off the ring. What I'm going to do is charge in for this moment where I can lean on you. Okay, they split us up. I'll cut you off in this corner, and I'm just going to body you up. I'm going to change. There were times for that first 4 rounds where it was absolute hell for Usyk.
No,
but now after that, what happened? Cesar, he gets tired. He gets wore down. Usyk is the pure boxer, goes in, dominates. I believe that is what you need to be the Canelo Alvarez. It's not going to be some orthodox super boxer. That's
by the way, Cesar had a 38-pound weight advantage. I just looked it up.
I mean, that's a big fella.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy.
He weighs for breakfast.
For that fight, he weighed 255, and Usyk weighed 217. So I don't think that's a fair comparison because although yes, Bivol is the bigger fighter. Don't get me wrong. He's taller and he's obviously fights at 175, so he's a bigger fighter. But he's not, he's not a cruiserweight. He's not fighting, Canelo's not fighting that. And also you got to take into consideration, Canelo fought Kovalev, has some experience with the weight. And so I don't think the weight advantage is too insane, but it is something to take
remember, he fought Kovalev. I mean, I know, and I heard what you're saying, Gusto, and I understand, man. But my thing is, with fights like that, you fighting a 36-year-old Kovalev. I believe at the time Canelo was like 28, right? 28, 29. You fighting a 36-year-old Kovalev 2 months, literally 2.5 months after a war with Anthony Yarde. So you're talking about a 35, 36-year-old guy that just came off a tough 11th round stoppage of a guy. He had to turn around. He took a week off, right? And then had to go right back into camp. Literally had a week or 2 maybe off and had to go right back into a camp for Canelo Alvarez. And on top of all of that, we seen him keep Canelo at bay. And let's put in the con. His jab is not better than Dimitri Bivol's jab. It's not.
No, his footwork is not.
His footwork is not better than Dimitri Bivol's jab. His footwork, right? And so he kept Canelo at bay for a while, right? Like for a good while. And on top of that, to me, what was even more striking after that fight, what did Canelo say? I'm not coming back here.
I remember that. I remember
that. Now, what I personally think, right, is that him and Reynoso sat down and they saw something in Bivol. But truly, I feel like both guys are playing with house money. If you're Bivol and you have a good performance against Canelo, the sky's the limit. If you're Canelo and you lose to Bivol, well, I started at 54 and I lost to a 75-pounder. Okay, whatever.
But right now, I disagree with that. Right now, he has the momentum of being that cash cow, being the number 1 pound for pound, being the face of boxing. If he were to take a loss, he would take a step back, not only in status, but also in pay. He has a lot riding on this fight right here.
So wait, let's stop this now. Remember, the deal he signed with DAZN was a 3-fight, 163 million, whatever, how many. He's already paid for the next 3 fights.
No, you don't think there's a if you win clause?
That's just Canelo, man. That's guaranteed money, man. It's like the NFL. That's guaranteed money.
No way he has 160 guaranteed win or lose.
Joe, think about it like this. What did this man just have to do less than 18 months ago? And it wasn't due to DAZN. Remember, it was Golden Boy who was dealing with the funny business, whatever they were doing. He broke up with them, but he went back to the zone because that money was guaranteed. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get that money, win, lose, or draw. This isn't like how people say, Devin Haney's got a bad contract and no one's read it. This is a contract where we know traditionally they're going to pay this dude, win, lose, or draw. They hope he wins. They hope because truth be told, he's easier to market.
But hold on. Is either of you two guys picking Bivol?
I am.
You picking Ace? Truth. You picking? I'm picking
Bivol.
Bivol. Based off the footwork and the jab.
No, based off the foot. Yeah, exactly. Based off the footwork, based off the jab, based off the reach, based off. I don't think Canelo's going to be able to sit in the pocket long enough to get those shots off that he needs to get off. Based off the fact that Dimitri Bivol is not a back foot fighter, he will stand in the center of the ring and he will pivot and circle you. And based off the fact that Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant, Billy Joe, Avni Yildirim, and Callum Smith, Canelo was able to dictate the distance and the pace in which he fought, which allowed him to come forward when he wanted to, allow him to take breaks when he wanted to, and all of that. The last time we seen Canelo spin that gas tank was Triple G2. And in the 8th or 9th round, he gassed out. And Bivol is one of those guys, if you hit him, you catch a good shot on him, you get a good combination, he's coming back. Like, he's not like a wow, hey, you hit me, I'm going to just go swing away. But you get a good combination on him, 3 to 5 seconds later, he's prepping you for a combination back. His lead hand dominance is the best in and around 68 and 75, right? And I think the big issue, people talk about the 175, he's not that much bigger than Canelo. Like, he's a small 175. Like, he's not bigger than Joe Smith. He's not big, who he already beat. He's not bigger than Better Beef, right? He's not bigger than those guys, right? And I just think that his lead hand dominance, he's going to be able to keep Canelo at bay. He's going to force Canelo to fight, which I think will expend that gas tank a little bit. We have to see Canelo at 175 again because the first time he looked lethargic in those later rounds. He did get the stoppage. He was able to come forward. But by the time he was able to come forward, Kovalev just wasn't Kovalev anymore.
I just think that although, listen, everything you said, I can see happening. I just think Bivol not going to be able to handle those body shots, man. Canelo rips to the body and consistently with both hands too. A lot of people would like to make a thing about the left hand, left hook to the body because he's Mexican, but he goes with both and he sets it up where he'll look down at your body and then hit you with an overhand right, which is what he did in the Khan fight where he knocked him out, and he did it in the Kovalev fight where he knocked him out. I feel like he has a lot of tools in his toolbox and I'm not predicting a knockout, but I can see how he can get creative and adjust to what Bivol doing. But I will say this. I do think Canelo's foot speed is underratedly slow. Like, a lot of people don't realize how slow his footwork is. I feel like sometimes he just kind of plots. He has really good head movement, really good hand speed, but waist movement and all that. But I feel like his feet is slow, and that's something where Bivol, who has fantastic footwork and uses angles, can take advantage of that and give Canelo trouble.
Real quick, the thing about that too is that I think Canelo's gonna have, and exactly what you said, right? You're correct, but Canelo is going to have a problem finding routes to the body, and that's my thing. Bivol is not an in-fighter. He's not a mid-range fighter. Canelo has to find a way to get past that jab and elite lead hand, to get past that footwork, to close distance. Then he can start working to the body. You got to establish a jab or something. You can't come in just throwing to the body or you're going to get cooked, right? So my thing is, we've seen Bivol 19 times. He's fought the same way 19 times. None of those guys have found consistent routes to the body. None of those guys are Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo has to get – so I don't even think Canelo can probably establish a proper body attack till maybe the 4th or 5th round, because Dimitri Bivol does not sit there to engage. He's going to keep you at distance with that lead hand. That's part of the reason why he keeps it low, is because he uses it. He feints you with it. He has every jab. And then number one, that swivel jab. That swivel jab is when you're leaning a little bit sideways and you square that hand up like this and you break that inactive high guard that Canelo has, because he does have that high guard. I mean, when his hands are low, he's moving at the waist. When he brings his high guard, he stays here. It's inactive. If you watch that Kovalev fight, Kovalev was getting through that inactive high guard with that swivel jab, and Canelo shows that he can be feinted. If you start feinting Canelo, that guard is going to move around, and I think Bivol is going to get there. So my question is not can Canelo get it done. My question is, can Canelo break distance, break the lead hand, then close distance enough to establish a body attack? Because we've seen no one do it yet to Dimitri Bivol. You know what I'm saying? Along with the reach too. Now the reach is a thing. Canelo cannot sit and plant his feet and dig. He can't. Bivol is not going to sit there.
And the reach is important because Canelo has fought tall fighters, but not tall fighters with the combination of the foot speed and foot work that Bivol has. So I definitely see this as a 50-50 fight. As a hardcore, I'm excited. I know the casuals probably like, who the fuck is this Russian? This, that, and third.
Man, who cares?
But like, if you a real hardcore this weekend, you excited.
Listen, all I'll say is this: before I slide up out of this office, because I was supposed to be going at 4. All I'll say is for the people who, like how you just said with Canelo's footwork, I would ask this question: his footwork looks slow, but maybe it's how we say people step up to levels of competition. Does the footwork look slow because his footwork is slow, or does it look slow because he's in there against competition where the footwork can be slow?
I've never seen it fast. I've seen him fight Mayweather. I've seen him fight Triple G. I've seen him fight Kovalev. Guys who you would have to step up and show your worth. Even Lara, who it comes from the Cuban School of Boxing, and it's always looked slow. I just think that's it's not necessary. It's like saying Timothy Bradley can't punch. Is that an insult on his game? Is just it's just an area of his game where it's weak. I think that's an area of where Canelo's game is weak. His foot speed.
So I'm betting on Bivol. I already put my 200 down, even though I don't think he wins by decision. I put it down for 200 by decision because it was at 4-1 odds. And I'll always bet the underdog because I like winning money. But do I think Bivol goes out there and UDs him? No, I don't think he UDs him. I think the opposite. I think at some point, surprisingly, I know Canelo's power carries up. I'm not saying Bivol is there to be hit, but I would not be shocked if at some point, I just don't think Bivol, outside of the Joe Smith punch that we all know about, I don't think he's ever been hit flush by someone who hits that hard. So I want to see what the outcome is going to be if he gets hit flush by someone who knocks a lot of people out.
Okay. I mean, that would listen, this weekend we're gonna get a lot of questions answered.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a legacy making fight for Canelo because he took a fight he didn't have to. And to be honest, I think it in and around 68 and 75, that's the most difficult fight. And I'm including Beterbiev, I'm including Joe Smith, I'm including Benavidez, I'm including Andrew, and I'm including Charlo. I think the Bivol fight was the hardest fight he can take. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, man. I think when you talk about hardest fight, from a boxer standpoint, but I think if Canelo fights Beterbiev, now I said that I think Dimitri Bivol makes Canelo fight for 3 minutes. I know Beterbiev is gonna make him fight for 3 minutes.
But the thing is, Beterbiev will play into his hand. He'll play into his hand, getting aggressive. And Canelo, once you getting aggressive, that's what he wants you to do. So he can slip, throw that uppercut. Canelo has a fantastic uppercut.
No, he definitely does. And we've seen Bivol down before, right? But my thing is, I mean, not Bivol, not. I haven't seen Bivol down. Not my bad. I meant Beterbiev. We've seen Beterbiev down before against was it Colin Johnson? I think dropped him.
Yeah. Did he drop him twice?
Might have. I don't remember. I know he dropped him at least once, but might have. But my thing is, can Canelo take a Beterbiev punch flush? And we know Canelo got a chin, but at 175 with them 10-ounce things on, man.
No, it's a legit question considering Artur Beterbiev literally has 100% knockout ratio. I'm not gonna dismiss that at all. Yeah. But when I've seen Canelo fight punches twice in Triple G and Kovalev and didn't get even hurt, let alone drop. I can't dismiss his chin. To me, knock out Kovalev, you need a fucking. I mean, Canelo, you need a back. That's how I look at it. There's just some fighters like that. Like but when I started this channel, I kind of had an idea in my head. I never really did it, where I wanted to grade wins. You know, I wanted to grade from solid. I was gonna call wins like, because not all wins are created equal. So I was gonna have something like a solid win is an SW, a regular win when you fight like a journeyman is an RW, you know, a quality win, QW, and then, you know, I had a ranking system. So I watched all of Julio Cesar Chavez's championship fights, every single one of them, in like in the span of like 2-3 weeks. Is you know, and
a lot.
it was a lot of fucking fights. And there's just some dudes who you just can't knock out, and he was just one of those guys. Chavez was, and I see that in Canelo. I see that whatever gene that Mexican water has, or whatever the fuck is in there, I see Canelo having that. And I don't think Better Breathe won't just run in there like how he does like how he did on Brown. Because again, Canelo can crack too, and Canelo also could crack on top of that where you won't see it, where you'll think there's an opening, he'll slip and just rip you to the body, or you know, slip and hit you with an uppercut, and you know, there's consequences to just coming in on Canelo.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna see, man. I think we're gonna see. Like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo actually, yeah, I don't want to say I think I would be surprised, because like I just said, man, depending on it, I mean, it's a lot of factors. Will he be intimidated by the lights? If he is, then none. But man, it's a Russian guy, man. It's a Russian guy. Them dudes is, hey, I don't know if you've ever seen videos of the Russian special forces and all of that, man. Dudes drop kicking each other in the chest and doing some more shit, man. So
yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. One of my boys, he goes, "Yo, I'll never fight a Russian fighter. These motherfuckers train in the snow and shit."
Bro,
he goes, "Hell."
And then with Bivol, man, you got to think like Bivol. He just not some guy, man. He got like an Olympic pedigree. He come from that school. Like he comes from that school. I don't know if he was Olympian. I know he come through that program though. But I mean, he cut from the same cloth of a GGG and a Kovalev and those guys like that. He's cut from that cloth. Like, so I don't think that Canelo is gonna. And then on top of that, Canelo is a devastating puncher, but he's not a one-punch KO guy. You know what I mean? He has to, just like an Errol Spence, he has to wear you down. He got to find routes, and then he can get you out of there. And I think that Bivol may be able to adjust. Now, I mean, man, it could just be me wishful thinking. You know what I mean? I'm not a Canelo hater. I've actually spent a couple $1,000s going to watch him fight Billy Joe Saunders, right? So, I mean, I'm definitely not a hater at all. You know, I like him. Canelo is one of those guys. But me, at this point, I'm just looking at the game tapes, bro. You know what I mean? I'm really just like looking at the game tapes and looking at Bivol, and I'm saying that I think a lot of the issue that people have with Bivol, right, is that it just seems like with his last 4 or 5, however many fights, he's not putting his foot on the gas. And I think that this may be the exception to where if he does get Canelo hurt or he does see an opening, I think he will try to put his foot on the gas. Like he will come forward. I think fights like this will make you the aggressor. You're either going to show up like a Luis Garcia, right? Hector Luis Garcia, or you're going to show up like an Abner Yildirim and just be there for a check and get knocked out. You know what I mean?
No. I don't see.
I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, you're either going to rise to the occasion or you're going to crumble.
Or you going to shit the bed? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I definitely agree with you. And you know, it's funny. They're both the same age. They're both 31. But their careers have been drastically different in the sense of you know, monetarily. Is Canelo getting comfortable? I don't know. He's coming off, and I wouldn't call it a long layoff, but for him it is, considering how active he was last year. He last fought in November. He's fighting now in May. Again, for a normal fighter, that's okay. But, you know, he likes to be active. But again, they're both 31. And a lot of people, just because of the last run of Bivol fights, want to not call him, want to say he got no power and this like that. I don't think that at all. I think he does have power. He has 19 wins, 11 knockouts, and I don't know if you remember when he first came on the scene on HBO, he was knocking dudes out.
Yeah.
He was really different. Putting it on. I just think he's such a good boxer. He's realized that he doesn't have to fight in a way where it's more aggressive and where he's possibly leaving himself for openings. And But yeah, all I know is he better come in shape, man, because that body work gonna get tested.
Yeah, and I don't like to discount guys' games, man. Like, for example, I remember the big lead up to Errol, Spence, and Mikey was Mikey's gonna outbox him, this and that. Errol's flat-footed. He can't do this, he can't do that. And that dude went in there and boxed Mikey head off for 12 rounds, right? And on top of that, that was the last time we seen it. That was the first time we seen it, and that was the last time we seen it, right?
Yeah.
And so I bring that up to say, you've seen a killer in Bivol before. We've all seen a killer in Bivol. Just because you haven't seen it in a while, don't mean that it's gone. You know what I mean?
That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So just because we haven't seen it in a while, don't mean it's gone, man. But like I said, man, I think Canelo can get the job done. I'm not saying that he can't get the job done, but I don't know, man. I just feel, I know Saturday feel like Halloween to me, man. We'll see.
You throwing money on it?
Oh, hell yeah. With Vegas.
What was that?
It said with Vegas, not with somebody.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just more curious. How much you throwing down?
Now I'll probably do a little friendly 200, same thing.
Okay. Hey, man. Again, that's not a stupid bet at all. And like my friends, my casual friends are like, man, Canelo's gonna knock this Russian out, and I'm like, let's relax. Let's relax. Yeah. I know you don't watch boxing as much as I do. Let's relax. Take a deep breath. Drink that. Finish your beer, because this ain't gonna be no walk in the park. Canelo may leave cut. He may, who knows? If Canelo, although I never seen him drop, never seen him hurt, I wouldn't be surprised if he got dropped, because again, what if Bivol does some quick shift on the footwork and catches him with a punch he doesn't see? He's a decent puncher. He's also the bigger man. Listen, Canelo's gonna have to earn his money this Saturday. There's rumors he's getting paid, and I have not confirmed this, so I'm not reporting this. There's rumors he's getting paid upwards of $50 million.
Remember, this is a pay-per-view fight, so he getting back in too, probably.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's true, but he's gonna have to earn every single bit of that $50 million come this Saturday. It's a good fight. And by the way, you brought up Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. Funny story about that. I was like you, man, Errol gonna dust this dude, this, that, and the third. But I was watching the lead up to that fight, and Mikey Garcia was so confident. I was like, damn, man. I was like, I'm picking my last minute. The whole lead up, I was picking Spence with all my boys, and I was like, man, I'm picking Mikey. Everybody's like, man, you crazy. You was just coming on here how he got no shot. I was like, he's just too confident. And again, I was a big Mikey Garcia fan. I actually saw him live fight Orlando Salido here at the Garden.
Yeah.
I saw him fight. By the way, had he made better decisions for his career, he could have been an all-time great, in my opinion. He was
I think so too.
Fighter.
Question. I know you followed him. We spoke about this before. When he was going through that situation with Top Rank, how long was his layoff?
If I'm not mistaken, it was 2 years.
I think that's what it was, man. I think once he started going through the money situation with Top Rank and he finally was able to get away, he like, you know what? I'm gonna make this about the money now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then we got the Mikey we get now.
Yeah. See, this is what happened. So when he left Top Rank, they had Terrence Crawford, who was a lightweight at the time. They had Vasyl Lomachenko, who at the time was at 130, and Yuriorkis Gamboa, who was at 130. So these were all fights he could have had. But every time he asked for the fight, they were like, okay, you'll get the fight just as long as, you sign this contract or an extension. But that was the problem. That was always a resistance. Yeah. He didn't want an extension. Let's just say he would have took those fights. We talking about a different legacy, because look how Lomachenko's career has been, whatever. He took the loss to Teal, but he ended up becoming a 3-belt unified champion at lightweight. Yeah, exactly. Terrence Crawford, undisputed. Now he's a welterweight champion. Gamboa, although now he's washed, but at that time when all this was going on,
Gamboa was that.
Gamboa was that dude.
Yeah.
So these are fights that would have been on his legacy, and unfortunately, after he left Top Rank, he went straight to the Errol Spence fight and took that L, and it's like he just kind of like lost motivation and focus in boxing, man. It's a shame, because he was honestly, he was my favorite fighter. Around that time, around that 2013, 2012 time, he was my favorite fighter.
I think he still is. I mean, I'm 33. I think he still is one of the greatest fighters of my generation. I'm not going to sit there and say,
I know what I saw.
Yeah. You can't discount. I mean, you can't discount what he did. Like you can't delete the game tapes, baby. That's they there forever. You know what I mean?
Somebody asked me this on a Twitter space, and I'll ask you the same question. And I can give you my response afterward as well. How do you think he would have looked against this crop of lightweights? Whether it Tank, let's say Tio's still a lightweight. Tio, Haney, Ryan, Loma, all those guys.
I think he beats Ryan. I think him and Tank is fireworks. I think he beats Tio. I think he beats Haney. Yeah, because he's gonna get in there. I think he beats Haney.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he would have been there. I think he would have been in there, man. I mean, I always think about at 135, and I know this was a little bit before my time. I think about Mikey versus Shane Mosley at 135.
Ooh. Damn, man, that's fireworks right there.
Hey, that's
at 135, I'm probably picking Shane. Shane was so explosive. Like, he's one of the fastest, underrated. Like, when people talk about fast fighters, they want to talk about Pacquiao. They want to talk about Camacho. They want to talk about Leonard. They want to talk about Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali when it comes to heavyweights. Underratedly, Shane Mosley at 135 is on the level with those guys. And I'll argue that with anybody.
Yeah.
Go put, like you just said, put the game tape on and tell me that's not one of the fastest fighters.
Yeah.
He was so explosive. But as far as Mikey Garcia with this current crop of lightweights, I think he knocks them all out. I think he knocks out Tio. I think he knocks out Haney. I think he knocks out Ryan. And I think he knocks out Tank. That's how high I was on Mikey Garcia back then. Again, he was my favorite fighter. Around that time, and I'm 32, so we similar age. Around my early 20s, to me, he was my favorite. And not saying he was the best at that time. He definitely was my favorite.
Nah, definitely.
Yeah, man. What fights have you been to live? And I'm not talking about recent. I'm just saying in general. What fights have you been to live and you had a good experience?
So you know what? I don't say a little funny story, man. At one point in time, I went to Jarrett Hurd and J-Rock. I went to the Jarrett Hurd J-Rock fight in 2018, right?
Okay, that's a good one.
This was when I was somebody that was – so before this time, right, literally, before 2018, I was following boxing, but I was not into, like, looking at the tape and breaking guys down. I'm just like, I'm a fan of boxing. I'm going to watch it. It comes on Showtime. I'm going to watch it like I am a basketball, football, and then boxing is next, right? Jarrett Hurd was my favorite guy, man. I was watching Jarrett Hurd. Obviously, man, the Erislandy, and that's probably one of them fights I still turn on, man, like the Jarrett Hurd versus Erislandy Lara fight. And so, man, me and my wife, she was a girlfriend at the time, but we in there in Virginia. We there. We got good tickets, man. I'm drinking. I'm drunk. I'm talking big trash. I got like a bunch of Philly dudes around me, and I'm talking trash, man. And Jarrett Hurd walks in the ring and stinks it up, bro. And for the life of me, I could not understand how J-Rock, who got knocked out by freaking Charlo, just did this to Jarrett Hurd, right? That's what made me start studying boxing, bro. Literally. That's like, that fight is the fight that made me like, wait. And I started just looking at fights and looking at what guys was doing. Then I started going back to the old days, the Sam Langfords, the Ezra Charles, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Salvador Sanchez's, the Benito Lopez's.
So you
bro.
Just recently becoming a hardcore. So
I was an avid boxing fan. Like, I would miss nothing. But as far as diving deep, like literally at that point, like I will rewatch. So for example, since I was a kid, bro, my favorite fight was always John Mugabe versus Hagler. That was always my favorite fight.
Yeah.
That, like, literally, so, like, to this day, like if I'm like bored, like I'm turning that fight on. Like, but and I will go back and watch certain fights, but never for the technical aspect. You know what I mean? Never like, hey, he threw his jab and he set the jab up. I'm just like, I like the, you know what I mean? I just like what I'm seeing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, once I looked at that, then I started like getting more into like breaking guys down and learning about, working off the jab and footwork and pivoting and taking steps back and angles and distance. And you know what I mean? Then I became like a geek, you know what I mean? I became like a nerd for it, man. And so that's why, like, you know what I mean? I am the way I am now with breaking down fights and just looking at guys. Man. And
you definitely made a name for yourself on the Twitter Spaces as far as breaking down fights. And I'm not tooting your own horn.
No,
I say that
no,
in front of you
man.
and not in front of you.
No,
Out of the Twitter spaces, you definitely do the best job breaking down the fights. Like post fight, that's why I was so adamant on having you and Ezra, because Ezra's also really good at that as well. I was like, man, you guys are fucking geniuses when it comes to breaking it down. Yeah, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I like to think I do okay.
Nah, yeah, you do your thing too. No, for sure.
But I'm like, yo, I definitely got to get these guys on. But as far as my favorite fight of all time, since you brought that up, I'm gonna give you a nice gem. A lot of people haven't seen this fight. Is Julio Cesar Chavez versus Juan Laporte. That fight,
I'm not gonna look that one up.
You got to watch that because again, remember I told you I watch all his championship fights.
Yeah,
so Juan Laporte, he's Puerto Rican, but he's from New York, So this was in Madison Square Garden in his hometown. And man, listen, that fight, I don't know who won. Chavez got the decision, but my scorecard, at one point, when I got to the 7th, 8th round, I was like, this could be anybody's fight. Yeah. Both of them beat the shit out of each other. And it was just a hard fell out. It was a hard 12 round fight. Oh no, 15 round fight. I don't remember. It was probably 15 rounds because it was back in the early 80s. 15 round fight where both of them, took war. But you look at Chavez's face, it's like, yeah, he looked like he'd been in a fight. You look at Laporte's face, and it looks like he got hit by a fucking Mack truck. That's my favorite fight of all time. The only thing is, like on YouTube, the stream isn't so well. Like, so you kind of have to deal with a subpar stream. But you can see the fight, man. Yeah. It's a war. I watch that shit on my TV screen. I have the YouTube connected it. Boom! I was like, man, what a fight! Yeah. I had goosebumps watching that fight. How much punishment both these dudes were taking.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. Laporte. I'll probably go downstairs and watch that.
Hitman is giving us a shout out. The guys,
Hitman, what's going on?
What's going on, Hitman? Hop on, Hitman. But yeah, man. What do you think? What do you think of Montana Love? He's fighting on the undercard against. Let me give you the guy's name real quick.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
He's fighting Gabriel Goyas Valenzuela, the guy who's 25-2-1. I'm not familiar with that guy. I'll be honest with you. But what do you make out of Montana Love?
Hey, I got the same take as you. I heard you earlier. I take Montana Love serious. I remember even back a couple years ago when he was having a sparring war with Tank. Him and Tank was going back and forth because I think they had some good sparring and a little bit of footage got released. And he's like, hey, release the whole footage. Don't just release that part. We're kind of insinuating like, yeah, I got some of you too. But like you said earlier, he got to take himself serious. Coming into fights 2, 3, 4 pounds overweight that's not the way to go. And I don't think that was his first time doing it. You know what I mean? So it's all cool when you walk into the ring with the Frenchie and you're knocking guys out, putting on stellar performances. But show me as a boxing hardcore, especially because the casuals don't know who Montana Love is, right? So show me as a boxing hardcore that you have the discipline to make the weight that you say you're going to make or move up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You know what's alarming to me? The two things that are really alarming to me, as far as in regards to Montana Love, he's fought as high as 150. 150. This guy's a 140 pounder. He's fought as high as 150 and as low as 140. And then on top of that, I remember during the telecast, Sean Porter was calling one of his fights, and where he missed weight, and he said, listen, this is something he's done since the amateurs because they're both from Cleveland. He goes, I'm familiar with his team. I've seen his come up in the amateurs. He did this in the amateurs too. So this isn't just a trend that, he got the bag and now he's, getting lazy. Maybe he just got a girl and she's cooking for him now. This is a history from the amateurs to now. And that's something to wrap around because, my channel's all Dominican. Wrapping around that, there's Joan Guzman was known for missing weight.
Yep.
One time I met a old school Dominican fighter. He fought Rocky Juarez. He fought a couple guys, and he was telling me how he goes, we knew he was like that. We knew he was like that since the amateurs. So it's like a trend. That's what's alarming to me. But as far as his skills and what I've seen him do, specifically in that fight with Baranchek, a former world champion. And even in his last fight, I forget the guy's name. He looked fantastic to me. Did he look fantastic because you outweighed the guy? Or did you look fantastic because you're a good fighter and you just had a slip up. You're just learning how to cut weight. Because that's one of the things when I interviewed Tevin Farmer, he told me it took him a while to learn how to cut weight. It's like he knew how to get in shape. Just cutting weight was he would do it like, just not eat and just drain himself and go in the sauna, as opposed to, I don't know, he needs to get a nutritionist, or he just needs to get disciplined. Put down the donuts and the Kit Kats and the Snickers, and just be aware that you only get one opportunity, man. You only in your 20s once. You're in your 20s from 20 to 29. That's it. After you're in your 30s, your body starts changing, and it's really going to be hard becoming making weight. And look at what happened to Joseph Adorno. Joseph Adorno got cut from Top Rank because he couldn't make weight. So it's going to affect your money eventually.
Exactly. And then, like, even guys like that, why not just move up? Just move up. Just move up. Just tell Top.
Move up to 147. That's the money division anyways.
Well, Adorno. Remember, Adorno couldn't make 135. So, I mean, move up to 140.
I think you're talking about.
But
you're right. You're right. And 140 stacked. 140, I don't know if you know, is my favorite division. To me, it's the deepest division in boxing to me.
Yeah.
Listen to the names. And my viewers, they're probably tired of me doing this, but fuck it. Subriel Matias, Elvis Rodriguez, Alberto Puello, Richardson Hitchens, Josh Taylor, Teofimo, who else? Gary Russell, Brandon Lee,
Arnold Barboza.
Arnold Barboza. That's 9 fighters off the top of my head. And I could probably still keep going. There's probably a couple guys that you guys are going to be, wait a minute, you guys didn't bring. Oh, Montana Love. Is that one?
Yeah, Montana Love. Jack Catterall, who just showed us
Jack
something
Catterall.
against
That's 11 fighters I just mentioned. 11 fighters who were, if I brought Jose Ramirez.
Regis Prograis.
This is a stacked division. That's what I tell people. Listen, when you if you move to 140, there's gonna be plenty of smoke for you. And you better be on your shit, because any one of the 11 dudes I just mentioned on a bad night can knock you the fuck out.
Exactly.
That, again, it's the deepest division in boxing. It's undisputed already, which is why people are may not see how competitive it is and how deep it is. It's a really, really deep division, and I'm super excited for when these guys start fighting each other.
Nah, me too. Definitely, me too, man. Nah, man, I definitely let me jump off real quick, man. Gotta handle some errands, man. And
no. Hold on. Before you jump off, I want to show you some love. I need everybody to go to my man's channel, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, he sat down with me. Y'all see how he breaks down fights. This is my guy. He has 71 subscribers. Come on, man. How many people watching this right now? 11 people watching this right now. So by the end of this, he should have 82 subscribers. Please go to A Side Boxing Talk.
Click the link.
Hit that fucking subscribe button. Like his videos. He just put out a video today breaking down the Canelo Dimitri Bivol fight. Go follow my guy, Truth Over Narrative. And I appreciate you coming on, my man.
Thanks. And look, my wife said I'm going for Bivol because my first name is Dimitri.
All right, there you go.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Peace.
All right, my man. Anytime, bro.
All
right. Shout out to my man Truth from A Side Boxing Talk. Obviously, very knowledgeable boxing YouTuber. Go over there, support him. Hold on, Jody. I just got in here, but Subriel Matias beats everyone at 140, to be honest. Subriel Matias will get knocked out by my Dominican brother, Elvis Rodriguez. I'm saying it now. And Alberto Puello, my other Dominican, beats him. Both Dominicans beat Subriel Matias. Don't come in here with that hot garbage of an opinion. Nah, I'm joking. You my guy. But hell no, man. My man Elvis Rodriguez is going to be the king of 140, man. King of 140. Mark it down. You jabronis, go subscribe, or the hitman is going to lay the smackif down on all your candy asses. There you go. If you don't want the hitman to go lay the smackif down on your candy ass, go hit that subscribe button on my channel, as well as A-Side Boxing Talk, my guy Truth. Definitely a knowledgeable boxing fan. Trill, what's up, my brother? Say it with your chest. I definitely am. Yo, bro, you don't understand. I brought that up once that Subriel Matias would lose to Elvis Rodriguez, and that shit has been following me forever. When that fight happens, I think PBC may send me a check. I don't know, man. And it's not. I just mentioned it once, and I wasn't even trying to how do I say, make it a thing. It just became a thing. So fuck it, I'm running with it. When it happens, the buzz started here on my channel. And but you know what's funny? I actually think if there is a fight between Subriel Matias and the Dominican, I think the one that's closest to happening is the Alberto Puello fight, because Alberto Puello is about to fight for the vacant WBA when Josh Taylor moves up. So he's probably going to win that fight. He's fighting Barros, so he should beat him. And then Subriel Matias is ranked number 2 in the IBF, so he's going to be fighting for the vacant when Josh Taylor moves up. So they'll both have a belt, and maybe that could be a unification fight. So maybe that's the Dominican versus Puerto Rican fight that happens. But I still pick Puello over Subriel Matias. I think Matias is a hard hitter, and he's killed the man. That's how hard he hits. But I do think he's wild at times. I did see him fade in that one fight against Petros. I believe it's Avayang or something. I can't pronounce his last name. He did fade in that first fight, which is why he lost. He did, to be fair, he did come back and knock the guy out and show the high motor and show that he was in shape for that fight. But listen, Puello is a very, very slick, smooth boxer. And in a fight where then there's an aggressive fighter versus a defensive boxer, I tend to always go with the boxer, because they're the ones actually using the art and the science of the sport as opposed to somebody who's just using brute strength. Subriel Matias, again, he's a good fighter. I'm not dismissing that he's a good fighter, and he's as entertaining as anybody at 140. I'm not going to argue he isn't, but I just think my Dominicans in that division beat him. Now, to be fair, I think he beats Gary Russell. I got Subriel Matias over Gary Russell, and I'll take that. I'll take that fight. I would love to see him fight Richardson Hitchens. That fight, I don't know who wins. Richardson Hitchens, a Brooklyn native who's of Haitian descent. Maybe they could play off that. I don't know. He's from Brooklyn. Matias is Puerto Rican. There's a large Puerto Rican population here in New York City. Maybe that could be on an undercard of another Puerto Rican fighter or local New York fighter that PBC has. I don't know. Polo, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Matias top dog. Polo, call in. Click the link at the top of the chat. You too, Vivi. Let's make this a Twitter space. But yeah. Hold on. Matias knocks Richardson out. I mean, I don't know. I would love to see it, man. By the way, I would love to see Richardson in some real fights. Yo, Mayweather Promotions, what the fuck they doing with that kid's career, man? Like, let him go. If you don't know how to move a guy, let him go. That guy should be way more active and should be promoted way better than he is. Like, his name is not buzzing at all, and it's not because of lack of talent. He's actually a good fighter. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. Some folks be saying Russell beat Teofimo. I guess you meant beat Teofimo. Listen, I'll be honest, and this may be a bit controversial, but hey, man, it's my channel. So if I got an opinion, I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker gotta say. I don't think Gary Russell is this killer that people making him out to be. Is he a talented fighter? Yeah. But I don't look at him as like a blue chip prospect, can't miss, that he's amazing. No. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, worthy of discussion, but I don't think he's that guy. Vivi, my guy, what's going on, my brother?
I'm good. I was just listening to the discussion. 140 is a hot division, so it's always fun to hear talk about it. Elvis Rodriguez really gone under the radar, and Alberto Puello, he's not really too known, but those are two Dominicans that I really think are phenomenal fighters. Elvis Rodriguez going to the top. He is the Kenneth Sims loss. They wrote him off, but I've been seeing it was the prospect of the year for a reason. He's still hot. He looked great in his last fight. He's the future.
Absolutely. And by the way, Vivi, you're somebody who has been up on the 140 division. Every time it gets brought up in a Twitter space, me and you always praise it. And if you remember, I made a video talk about how me and you discussed it and how you're very aware how rich this division is.
Yeah, it's a great division, and there's a lot of talent under the radar that people don't really notice right now. I think a lot of the big dogs that you see right now are the big dogs coming up. They might not be there in 2-3 years. Like, for example, Super Matias, I think he loses to a lot of these guys. I think he's a walking punching bag, and I think he got punished, especially against Elvis. Elvis would beat the brakes off him.
Absolutely. VV, I knew I liked you. No, but so out of the young guys, let's exclude T.O., let's exclude Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. Out of the young guys, Richardson, Hitchens, Puello, Rodriguez, which of those guys, Gary Russell, which of those guys are you highest on? Give me like the top 2-3 in order.
I would say at 140 is probably Gary Russell and Gary Russell and Elvis Rodriguez. But I wouldn't write off Richardson Hitchens too. He looked really good against Malik Hawkins. I think is a really good talent, but he's just not on that level yet, in my opinion.
Okay, I got Polo on the line as well.
What up? Nah, that Richardson guy, he's nothing special, bro. I saw him fight live. I saw Alberto Puello. Alberto Puello's, he's slick. I do actually think he's gonna, but nah, Richardson. They better keep him away from Matias, man. Matias already did one of Mayweather's fighters bad, so I don't see anything special in Richardson. I'm sorry, but it's not there. I saw him fight live. I saw Rayo, him, Berto Puello, and yeah, that's about those top three. And who's the other? Yeah, those three fight live on the same day. I don't see anything special in Richardson, bro.
You actually also saw Elvis Rodriguez fight live.
Yep. Right? I saw Elvis Rodriguez. I like what I saw, but yeah, I did see him live.
So I'll ask you the same question I asked VV. Out of the young guys at 140, give me the top 2-3 names who you're highest on.
Oh, like under a certain age group, or like because
yeah, no, I'm just saying out of like Gary Russell, Subriel Matias, who else? What's this guy's name? Elvis Rodriguez, Alberto Puello. Out of those crop of guys, who give me the top 2-3 names?
Oh, it's hard because like I do like Serrano Matias' style though, but I mean skill wise, I think it would say Puello. I do like Gary Antoine, but I don't know if he's gonna be, because after his last fight, bro, he didn't really like. I thought he was gonna go there and blow up Posto, which obviously Posto is not someone you blow up, but it's just like I would say it's between Alberto Puello or Serrano Matias.
Okay. All right.
There's another guy I want to throw in there.
I'll leave you on because you got a Dominican. Hold on. I got another caller. By the way, my man, you got the best mustache that's ever called in, bro.
It's clever.
It's clever? Oh, shit. Clever, what's going on, my guy?
Yeah, Clever got the Gary Sullivan mustache.
That's right. I'm driving home in traffic.
Every time we're on the Twitter space now, I'm now going to put a face to the name. You look so different from your profile picture.
I know. Been growing this mustache probably since like last October.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
So, right now we're talking about the 140 division, and
I was listening. I gotta look at the list, man. But you listed a lot of great dudes, and then of course you got some champions, past champions. I'm still high on Jose Ramirez. I like Elvis Rodriguez a lot, and I think that's about it. Yeah, most of those guys you
there's
mentioned.
Another guy.
Who?
There's another guy I want to throw in the mix, bro. And Broadway, you gotta check him out. Check out Lindolfo Delgado. He's with Top Rank. He's at 140. He trains with Robert Garcia, ex-Olympian. Lindolfo Delgado.
Hold on, I'm checking out his box rack right now.
That's fucking Polo. What's up, Polo?
How do you spell his first name?
So it's
Polo.
Lind. You hear me, bro?
Oh, OFO.
It's Li. Yeah.
Bro, I'm listening. LIND.
So it's LIN.
Polo. Today.
Whoa.
Nah, there's nobody by that name on box rack. Anyways, it's all good though.
Give me a second, bro. Hold on, my bad.
Yo, I can't stop laughing at Clever's mustache. Yo, by the way, I'm gonna clip this and put this on Twitter. Yep. Oh, he jumped off. Yo, his mustache was so funny, man.
Hey, but for what it's worth, I think I know who Polo's talking about. He was a lightweight Olympian back in 2016. Lindolfo Delgado. He's okay. He's a Mexican, so of course Polo likes him. But he's pretty good. He's really good.
I should have known that. Every Mexican. Yo, the dishwasher at the restaurant, Polo's high on just because he's Mexican.
Damn, now I take that back. What I said, I just said check him out. Damn, I can't be a fan. No, I didn't have
What
it
I'm
right,
saying,
bro. I spelled it
what
out
I'm
to you.
saying is you're very, very Mexican biased. I'm okay with supporting your own, but you be like, yo, hey, listen, your top 5 pound for pound probably all Mexican. I bet.
No, this is how you spell
but
his name. If you want to spell it,
Yeah,
but hey, Bravo, you support your Dominican. There's nothing wrong. I just said that's
yeah,
another
but my
guy on
top
the
5 pound
radar.
for pound has no
You should check out.
Dominicans, bro. Not one. I'm realistic.
What do you know? I'm talking to the 3 belt guys right now. You guys all about those belts.
Yeah, man. So is
Yeah,
the
those
big fish.
belts.
So is your guy Errol Spence. Apparently, he got 3 of them, and he wants the 4th one. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's a known fact. That's like 5-6 years old.
Yeah,
and it's only as of late it's been tabloid as undisputed.
It's 5 or 6 years old, and he hasn't accomplished it in those 5 or 6 years. It's kind of crazy.
Excuse me?
Yeah, no, that's true. Why your man?
No, excuse me?
Why the fight hasn't happened earlier?
No. What did Vivi say real fast?
I said it's the undisputed talks 5 to 6 years old, and it still hasn't happened.
No, you said something else before that.
No,
that's what I said.
No, that's what he said.
I thought you said like his age or something like that.
No, bro, that weed in Cali is good because he did not say that. He said, why hasn't a fight happened since it's been 4 or 5 years? Answer that question.
Oh, well, what has he been doing? I mean, like he said he was doing, cleaning up his
what's
side.
He been doing. What's he been doing?
He's been cleaning up his side of the street of PBC and collecting belts and becoming the biggest star. Like, you guys know this. You can see this.
He's not the biggest star. He's not bigger than Fury.
I said becoming the biggest star. He's definitely the biggest American boxing.
He's not bigger than Canelo.
Okay.
Oh wait, is he bigger than Tank?
Yes.
Yeah, he's bigger than Tank. I say the only ones that are
but guys, you can't use Tank. Guys, Tank doesn't care. People come to Tank. Tank's a mind killer too. But he's not on Errol's level.
Is Errol is above everyone that's not named Fury, Wilder, Joshua, and Canelo.
In the private chat, I just spelled it out. If you check that out.
All right, hold on.
Bro, I just spelled out his name. Look him up.
Yeah, my bad. I'll check it out right now. Yeah. Oh. By the way, everybody go hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Yep. Hit that like button too. Subscribe and like. Show some love.
Hey Joel, there's this other Dominican that you might not have heard of. He's managed by Gary Hyde, the guy that used to manage Rigo back in the day. He's the Irish guy. His name's Juan Polanco. He's like 23, 6-0. He's a Dominican. He signed with Gary Hyde though. He's decent. He's young too.
Hold on one second. I'm looking up the guy Lindolfo Delgado. Damn, this dude is a pretty dude. This is fucking. Yeah, let me show you his box rec. This motherfucker look like a model and shit. Motherfucker don't look like no boxer. He looked like Ryan Garcia older brother.
This guy's players. No, check out his
he's 15-0 with 13 knockouts. That's impressive. I mean, I'm looking.
He looks related to Mario Lopez, but just light skin.
Right.
He was on PBC, bro. But PBC, I don't know what happened with him.
Hold on, BB. What's the Dominican guy you said? What's the Dominican guy? I want to look him up. I might have to.
Juan Polanco. He's solid. He's young too. He's at 140.
He's at 140.
Man, BB just be naming these.
How do you spell his first name?
I'm surprised
Rohan.
A random UK guy. Yeah.
Michael McKenzie's good. Come on, Polo.
Oh, you know it's funny. His nickname is also Ed.
Stop! Don't start bringing those guys.
Oh, you know what's funny?
No. Clever.
I seen him fight in DR.
I respect some of the UK guys, but Davey brings guys.
I've seen this guy fight in the Dominican Republic.
You cut out, Polo.
Polo, you cut out, man.
No, I said with the UK guys, I respect him, but Vivi just be bringing random guys that are not even signed with any like the big promoters, guys that are not even like who the fuck was Michael McKenzie, man? I'm surprised he even knew who that was. He's like, he fought Chris Congo. I'm like, I know who Czech Congo is. I don't know who Chris Congo is.
Well, I'll be talking about the future. I'll be looking at guys that, I'll be doing something in a few years. Michael McKenzie signed with Eddie Hearn. He's with Eddie. He signed with Eddie after he beat Chris Congo. Yeah, he fought Ranowski on an Eddie Hearn show.
Oh, okay. I gotta check him out. I didn't really know of him until that. I mean, he's ranked though. I mean, can't really go off the rank. I mean, he is ranked, so.
Yeah, and these are guys that really fought their way up on the UK club scene and had to get that breakout win to get there. Like Felix Cash, when he stopped Denzel Bentley in 3 rounds, that's what he got with Matchroom.
Felix Cashman. Oh my God! Don't even bring. I don't want to hear about
That's a
that guy.
cool name, Denzel
Yo,
Bentley.
VB, don't do the shit. You already sound like a fucking British dude. Don't bring that UK shit to my channel, man. It's either Dominicans or Americans. That's it. And Mexicans.
Wait, no. Wait.
Get him.
Nah. Hey, Broadway, we respect.
Get him.
Hey, remember, boxing is international, man. Don't make it. That's what kills the sport.
I'm joking. Nah. But honestly, the
I know.
Yeah, the UK dudes, they just don't do it for me. I mean, the only one who did do it for me, who I was really excited about, was Anthony Joshua. Up until, like, I don't know what the fuck is up with his mind. Like, this dude is acting like a weirdo now. Like, I don't know. He.
No, I think Tyson. But to be fair, man,
I don't
they
like
took over
Tyson
the
Fury.
heavyweight.
I know
division,
VV
man.
does.
They left.
Yeah, Polo.
Man, they took over the heavyweight, and they got George Joyce, man. No, I'm saying they got Tyson Fury, they got Joshua. Like, bro, they got the heavyweight division on lock in the next coming years.
Hey, Polo, they don't want a war with Big Juggernaut.
But
Yeah, you don't want to war.
Hold on, Polo. What? You don't think my man Jared Anderson from Toledo, Ohio, could fucking make some noise in the heavyweight division?
No, not now against George Joyce, bro. George Joyce would drive.
I'm not talking about right now. In 2-3 years. Joe, how old is Joe? Joe Joyce is like 35.
Jared Anderson is the
He's
future.
Like
he is the future.
But
there
listen,
is no. He is one of them. He is the.
Bro. You gotta remember the heavyweight. Nah, I don't see it, bro. I after I've seen it, it's gonna be. I gotta see it, but. He's gonna be around for a while, bro. George Joyce started his career late, bro. He started his career late, so he's gonna be around for a while. They're just moving him slow, bro. He was getting moved fast, remember? Before the pandemic, I mean, bro, he fought Stervern. He was fighting to get a title shot, but it's just the pandemic happened. So
to be honest, I'm not high on Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce seems too robotic for
bro.
me. Like,
He
did stop Dubois. I give him credit. He did stop Dubois, and I actually picked Dubois to win that fight. But I don't see him fucking with a Tyson Fury. I would say I don't see him messing with Joshua, but I don't know where Joshua's mental state is. I don't see him beating Usyk.
How about Daniel Dubois?
Usyk already beat him in the amateurs. In that what's that boxing super series, that 5-round fights,
World Series of Boxing.
But that's
World
the
Series of
boxing, bro. But that's the amateurs.
That's like professional amateurs.
Hold on, that's no heavyweight with 10-ounce gloves. It was 5 rounds. So you can't discount that. I don't know. I don't see it with him.
Even outside of that, Broadway, when he fought Carlos Takam, he was really like getting touched up a lot. Like Takam was winning that fight before the stoppage, and that stoppage was a little early in my opinion.
Yeah, Carlos Takam. Is that what you said?
I don't remember the stoppage, but I do remember Takam putting hands on him.
Yo. How about stop it? Yo, how about Daniel
Takam? Stop.
That's the thing, Clever. It's embarrassing. He was losing that fight.
You're making his point. He's saying if Takam could put hands on you, what are you gonna do when it's Fury in front of you? That's why I listen. Right now, hold on. Right now, Jared Anderson probably can't beat Joe Joyce, but in 2 years, give me fucking Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is the future of the heavyweight division. Book it.
Look. I just want to add in there, like, look, everyone gets pieced up, man. Everyone's gonna get touched. No one, like, we gotta stop that in our spaces and chats. Right? Guys, people get beat up. People get touched. Like the best.
No. But when it's the heavyweight division, you getting touched up, it's concerning.
Even worse.
Division, everybody can put your lights out.
But I mean, also like it also shows a lot because Takam isn't really on that level, and Joyce is supposed to have some like super ironic iron jab, and Takam was getting his light on him.
But you gotta look at it. But listen to this. Look at George's first 13 fights, bro. They're against guys that usually guys that start off 13 fights. They're not supposed to be fighting these guys. I know we criticize his 8th fight was a Stervern. They were trying to get Luis Ortiz in there before, but they got win with Stervern because. They were trying to fast track them. It's just during the pandemic happened. Everything's
Polo. Hold on. Objection. Bermain Stervern had not fought in 2 years and was 291 pounds, and he was like 40 years old. Come on.
Only in heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Listen, at the heavyweight division, man.
But yeah, that's terrible.
Everybody can punch, man. So that's why we brought. I'm getting to Clever's point. That's why we brought up. Hey, when you're getting touched up by Takam, I don't know what's going to happen when it's Joshua touching you up, when it's Wilder touching you up, when it's Fury touching you up. It's a different type of touch up, bro.
George Joyce is the juggernaut. Got it. I'm trying to tell you, man.
So you hold on, Polo. Can I mark you down? Can I mark you down for you think Joe Joyce is going to be a heavyweight champion in before his career?
He's definitely going to be a world champion. I don't know what you don't see, like, bro. I don't know if you see that, after Joshua leaves, which he's going to leave in a few years, Fury's already going to retire. I don't know what's up with Usyk. Usyk, if he loses, he'll still be around, but those guys are not going to be around for another 3 years. Watch. Book it. Those guys are going to be gone. And you look at the heavyweight division, you got Dubois, Joyce, Parker. I mean, do we count Wilder? Is he coming back or what? Or is he out?
I don't know. A lot of fighters talk about retiring, then they're coming back. So I don't
Andy
know.
Reese is still on Herjovic. All I know is, bro, I respect Wilder, but he better stay retired, man, because these new generation of heavyweights, bro, like, they're gonna do some damage to him, man. After coming up from 2, like, you gotta look at it, bro. We're almost at the new generation of heavyweights.
Are you putting Joe Joyce in the new generation of heavyweights?
Yeah, the guy's fucking like 92.
He's 37.
Jeez, come on, man.
I think he's going to lose to Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's too quick and he's too smooth for Parker for Joyce, in my opinion.
Nah. I disagree with you, VV. Fucking Joseph Parker don't know how
to.
Hey,
you trying to bet? You trying to bet on it? You trying to bet on it? I got Joe Joyce beating Parker.
Look, it's a 50-50, but I think Parker gonna take it.
Bet on it. Do you want to bet on it?
Maybe.
No,
let him think about it. You know where to find
him. You know where to see my DMs. We got to check that fight, see what's going on. See, because that's the thing, right? Like I told Isan, right? We're gonna have to see. We get a fight.
Hold on. Before yet we make this bet. I want to get all three y'all breakdown and prediction of the Canelo Bivol fight. I'll start with Vivi.
Dimitri, you Bivol by unanimous decision. Look, as I said, happened with Ray Vargas, Demetrius Andrade, Dimitri Bivol. You see a fight with their name in it, you can bet on them by unanimous decision. They ain't losing it. They ain't winning any other way. They don't have any stopping power. But damn well they're gonna win unanimous decision. Canelo, he's not active enough, and he struggles against guys that can move and have a great jab. Dimitri Bivol is just too big and too good for Canelo.
How about you, Polo?
Canelo UD.
You don't want to break it down?
No, I like I said, I just think it's UD. That's a bet on the UD.
All right, cool.
I would say MD, but no, I think Canelo got it. I think Canelo's gonna break his body down. He's gonna get on the inside, rough Bivol up, and Vivol's gonna get lost. I do see Bivol having success in the early rounds, but I think Canelo's gonna break him down. I got Canelo, bro. I would say stoppage, but I don't know. I think Bivol might just be like, he's not going to be easy to stop. But I got Canelo.
Right. What about you, Clev?
I'm going to be bowling or something, having some fun, man. I'm not watching that stuff. Like,
what? Whoa! Why are you not watching Canelo?
I'm not impressed with Canelo fighting Bivol. Like, no.
Hold on. You're not.
Y'all save your money.
That's the hardest fight at 175 and 168. What are you talking about, bro?
You opened up your space like that, saying things like that?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Oh my goodness.
Who's a more difficult fight at 68 and 75 than Dimitri Bivol? Tell me.
At 68, you got David Benavidez sitting there.
I can't hear him.
Just steady ducking him. At 75, dude, Caleb Plant just had a belt and he just happened to be the guy. How about
Benavidez had a belt and he blew his weight and blew the cocaine.
That's fine, but he's running from him.
Benavidez beat?
How is he running?
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he's beat. That's the best fight available.
It does matter.
So Canelo just gets to. Wait, hang on. So Canelo just gets to not fight him because of that?
No.
Bro,
that's
he's
not
doing
what
other
I said.
things. Hold on,
Polo. I asked you a specific question. Who is the most difficult fighter? You said Benavidez, but I'm like, who the fuck?
No, you said it. Well, Well, you said it's 68 and 75. I was getting a 75.
All right. And I'm dismissing the 68. Let's go for 75.
Okay, fine. At 75, man, I don't even care. That fight's not happening. Gennady Golovkin, he's up next. It doesn't matter. No one's tough right now for him. There is no tough fight. He's ducked like 3 guys.
Okay, all right.
In 3 different divisions.
Who's a better fighter?
Hold
on,
bro.
Be quiet, Polo. Be quiet, Polo. Shit.
All right.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you, who's a harder fight? Bivol, Zach Parker, Selecki, or David Lemieux? You see what I'm saying? The motherfuckers are fighting.
Well, no.
This guy's fighting.
Wait, hang on.
Wait, Joel. Who's a tougher fight, Bivol or Ugas?
Yo, these guys fight.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Wait a minute.
Canelo fights the number 2 ranked light heavyweight, and people want to criticize him for that. Yo, I hope you
dude,
every
dude,
fucking dude, on Saturday
dude,
night.
dude. All right, dude. Again, I'm not watching this crap. Secondly, y'all really think Bivol's gonna win or has a chance?
This is a
really
fight.
Really?
Would the odds makers agree? The odds makers agree. This is Bivol's close. This is
to the listeners out there. I hope y'all have better common sense.
Clever. I got a question. Did you think Ugas was gonna beat Spence?
Truth from A-Side Boxing. Truth over narrative. He's picking.
Why are you guys wait? Go ahead. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying, guys that Vivi and Truth, 2 educated boxing fans are both picking him, and you telling me
that's fine. That's fine. Y'all can be impressed. I'm not impressed. Y'all can be impressed. I'm not impressed. Y'all can be impressed.
I got a question.
I'm not impressed. Yes, sir.
I got a question. Let me talk. So Ugas versus Spence, that was a 50-50 fight.
Why are you first off, no, that's bullshit. No, I don't even care, dude. You want to deflect on Errol Spence. Y'all do this.
Hold on.
Hang on, Vivi. No, Vivi, hang on, sir. Y'all want to do this. What does Errol Spence have to do with them?
Yeah, are you impressed by Inoue fighting dipshit and Das Marine ass?
Those are his mandatories. He didn't duck his mandatories. This guy gets a belt and gets stripped. Drop your belts, Canelo.
I have a question.
You're gonna get stripped.
So I have a question. So Canelo should have fought Lemieux, right? As his mandatory when Lemieux was a mando. So
Lemieux magically appeared. What are you talking about?
No, but my point is,
he magically appeared.
Let me talk.
What are you talking about? No, I don't want to talk.
Well, listen. So Benavidez' best win struggled with Udrum. They had to run it back.
Dude, it doesn't matter. He's the best available. Bro, he's the best 168
The best available is Dimitri Bivol.
Former champion. And he was ducked when he did have the belt. What are you talking about, dude?
How was he ducked? Bro, they wanted to make the fight. Well, look at what Benavidez.
I'm talking about Canelo.
Who ducked him?
I'm talking about Canelo. Third time I've said it.
Benavidez has nobody to blame but himself for not getting that fight. Not only did he sniff coke, he was sniffing the shit.
See, you guys, dude, Canelo's on PEDs right now. What are you talking about? And he's been caught.
And if you really want to talk about
no, you guys are just impressed with whatever this guy does. That's fine.
Clever. You clever. You want to talk about Benavidez getting ducked by Canelo? When Benavidez missed weight, he was made the WBC mandatory for 175-pound champion Artur Beterbiev, and he turned it down.
Yeah, and
that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. And hang on, Polo. Let me retract to that. Hang on, Polo. No, dude, I want to get back to Vivi. He was talking to me. Holy shit. Anywho, no, that's a lie. And Vivi, you're a smarter boxing fan than that. You know that fight's not going to happen. That guy's on the other side of the street with Top Rank. Bob's not going to let the belts come up. Hang on. Bob's not going to. No, it's not, dude. Bob's not going to let the belts go over to the other side. No. And to answer your question, again, he's not going to fight him.
He let Brownie cross the street. So Benavidez didn't do it. But
he let who? He let who?
Marcus
Brown. I guarantee you, Bob,
the same one that he made quit.
He was a mandatory. Oh my gosh, and at a lower tier.
You mean like how Benavidez was made that mandatory?
Hang on. And he's like, when I say secondary, like no one's worried about him. Like, he was expected to lose. Y'all really thought he was gonna win?
Bro,
Who's checking for Benavidez?
Hey,
yo, Benavidez
Oh my
ain't
gosh.
not even buzzing like the way you think it is, bro. Like, yo,
No, you got okay. All right, look
That's
in your comments
hilarious.
then. Look in your
Clever. Here's the
comments.
thing, though. Clever. I don't understand how you're not impressed by Canelo, but you're impressed
I'm
by
not.
Spence beating a guy named Ugas that lost to Robles. Yeah, you were. You were.
Why do you keep
hyping
wait? Hang on,
yo,
man.
hold on,
I really gotta ask you that.
No. Me and
Let's keep it on. Let's keep it on topic.
Listen. Talk to me when your guy actually gets 1 million buys, man. He doesn't even get that. I'm not even sure.
Yo, I don't give a fuck because I'm not getting paid by Canelo.
Hey man, again, no, hang on, Polo.
You say, hold on.
Why
so
do you
wasn't impressed by Canelo breaking a man's face and making
No, Billy Joe's. Well, anywho, hey Polo,
wasn't
why do you keep
impressed by that?
no? Why do you guys keep deflecting on Errol Spence? What has he got to do with Canelo
I
and all that he's
I
got?
agree with you. I don't want to
Go ahead, Polo.
Listen.
Go ahead.
The reason I say is because, bro, you criticize him, but it's like, bro, you praise Spence for doing what? Unifying 3 belts when Canelo already did that already, like years
Canelo
ago.
unified 4.
You're praising.
What he's saying is keep the same energy. Keep the same energy.
Yeah,
okay, you guys want to go there? You want to go there? Okay, let's go there. No, hang on, let's go there. Dude. Anywho, let's go there. You guys are crazy about these belts and these unifications and undisputed and all this crap. No, listen to me. Canelo had a chance to do that at 54. Guess who had the belt? Demetrius and Andrade. Ducked him. Refused to fight him. Hang on. I'm still talking, sir. Stop interrupting. Secondly, he goes up to 60. Everyone has a belt. Guess who has a belt at 60? Demetrius Andrade. Ducks him. Charlo has a belt at 60.
That was Oscar
Ducks him.
who forgot to submit the form one time for him not to get stripped, which is why he moved up to 75 to fight Kovalev.
Also on the point
no, that's all wrong, sir. That's all wrong.
Charlo had Canelo's belt.
But listen to this.
Hang on. No, I'm still going. You guys are interrupting me because you think you're saying no. Hang on, sir.
You can't
Hang on, sir.
monologues, bro.
You're not making any sense. So listen to this.
I am making sense because I know what I'm saying is true.
Why didn't Boo Boo press his Mando when he was Charlo's WBC Mando and he was in line to fight Lara? Why did he go to Germany to fight a Reggie belt? Why didn't he go into speed?
I don't know, but that sounds crazy and like a lie. And you're getting off topic because again, stop, dude.
Wait, no, Andre just said he doesn't want to fight Lara.
You're not holding your
fight for the Reggie belt.
Have you guys?
You're not holding your guys to the same standard.
Dude, listen to me, man. You keep deflecting on literally guys I bring up because your guy's in the wrong. Secondly, again, Charlo had a belt. He denied him. You go up to 68. That's the best fighter there. You're denying him. And he's your number 1 contender or mandatory. Ducked him. Why did he fight Rocky Fielding? Why did he do that? Because he ducked his mandatory.
What belt did Charlo have for Canelo?
How did he duck his mandatory? That was in between a fight.
He was the number. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken, BB. He was the number 1 guy forever.
He was the number 1 guy. Hold on.
Yo, you gotta let people talk, bro.
Okay, so Charlo was the mandatory for Canelo, but Canelo had another mandatory already in the IBF with Sergey Derevyanchenko, and Canelo made it very obvious that he planned on fighting Sergey Derevyanchenko so he could become undisputed.
That's a lie. No, he didn't.
He did.
Sergey. No, he didn't.
He ducked him. No, he fucking didn't.
Yes, and he got stripped. He got stripped because he didn't want to fight him.
No, he sent an email to the IBF saying, "I would like to fight Demetrius Andrade." And then my manager.
That's hilarious because Derevyanchenko's manager or ex, whatever the guy is, said on the space that no, we went with the offer that was more winnable for us in the Triple G fight.
Anybody see the video with Canelo's cousin?
No, that's way after, and that's even more of a lie.
He said after the Andrade fight was offered to Canelo, he sent an email to the IBF to have Sergey step aside so he can unify with Andrade.
Oscar did some crap like that, right?
And then they stripped him because he wanted to fight Andrade. So he just relinquished all the
belts. Lies on top of lies.
How would he duck Derevyanchenko, bro?
Dude, you got.
And what's funny is you don't question that.
Look at the comments.
A guy that got his ass kicked by Jacobs comes back, has a questionable victory over Jack Kokale, your guy's best win, and then gets to become the IBF man. Though you don't question that.
Let me read this
article. It's been like 5 years since he hasn't defended it.
Hold on. Let me read this
I
article.
didn't even hear what you said, man. I'm not gonna lie, I ignored it because
Let me
just a
read
bunch
this
of
article.
bullshit.
IBF. Look, this is an article from August 1st, 2019. IBF strips Canelo of title, angers De La Hoya. Middleweight world champion. Excuse me. Canelo Alvarez is in the market again for a full opponent.
It's Dan Rafael. Oh my
for
god.
one of his mandatory defenses against Sergey Deverenchenko ended with no deal on Thursday afternoon and resulted in his being stripped of the IBF 160-pound title. The IBF had allowed for multiple postponements of purse bid for the bout, and Deverenchenko camp even told the IBF it was okay with Alvarez not being stripped at Monday's deadline,
Because he wanted to fight him. Because he wanted to fight him.
So you think he ducked Deverenchenko? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying he ducked his mandatory. Yes.
Oh my god. Yo,
Actually, hold on, because even later in this article,
clever. I appreciate you, my guy, but I gotta kick you off the space for that one, bro. This dude said that Canelo is ducking Deverenchenko. Come on, man.
Bro.
Really? Canelo will fucking decapitate Deverenchenko.
Even later in the article, it says that the IBF and Golden Boy and Canelo made a last-ditch effort to make a unification with Andre and tried to postpone the IBF thing.
I was trying to get to it, but once I heard that wild shit, I was like, God damn.
Man, I don't even want to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, what's hilarious is, bro, I saw Deverenchenko fight live against Jokale. Holy shit, that was an awful match, bro. They both sucked. Like, that shit was boring. Like, that shit was the most horrible match I've ever seen live. And the thing that's funny to me is how a guy that got his ass kicked by the guy that beat his ass comes back, went to fight, and he's the Mando, which is hilarious to me. It's like, how do you get a title shot from getting your ass kicked for the vacant title? Then you go and fight a dude that wasn't even a middleweight at the time or just moved up and then become a Mando. That's just weird to me how things work. Like, so you're telling me I lose a fight, I come back, win a fight, and I become a Mando.
Yo, shit is crazy out here, man. These streets,
man.
The way certain people's memories work is crazy. But yo, guys, BV, you got something to say, Polo?
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm about to hop off. I gotta go.
For sure, G. We gotta do this more often. It's just hilarious.
Let me know.
For sure.
All right. Well, yo,
I gotta go too.
Oh, hold on. The Hitman hopping on. So I'm gonna stay on for like 5 more minutes because the Hitman is on. Hitman,
good,
what's up,
Broadway?
my brother?
Something going on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Are you excited for this weekend? Your favorite fighter, Canelo, fighting?
My favorite fighter, Bivol, fighting? Yeah, I'm excited this weekend. I got
hey, don't worry, man.
Weekend ahead of me.
Charlie will fight Selecki on June, so don't worry, it's coming. Selecki.
I don't mind watching that fight.
Hey, that's the greatest. He's fighting the greatest Polish boxer to ever live. Selecki, the greatest Polish boxer to ever lace them up. A legend.
Hold on. What was that, Hitman?
Before the Hitman was interrupted by some jabroni trying to get his 15 minutes of fame, the Hitman will go back to saying this. Selecki almost beat Broadway's hometown fighter, Danny Jacobs.
Almost.
Look, I almost bagged Megan Good. You know what I'm saying? Almost. Does that count?
Hey, I give you credit for that. At least you got to the stage, though.
Hey, I almost won.
Hold on, Polo. How do you see this fight? How do you see this fight going down this weekend, Hitman?
Now, here's the funniest part, right? I was at the gym. We were talking about it. The foot placement is going to be the most important thing of the fight, right? Bivol is,
No, I said absolutely.
Oh, Bivol is leagues above Canelo in footwork. That's not even a question about it. When it comes to in and out, side to side angles, Bivol is levels ahead of him. But Canelo's foot feints, Bivol doesn't really have feints if you really think about it. Bivol's more so like a counter puncher, you know. He'll catch a shot, give a shot right back, counter with combinations. But Canelo's foot feints are on another level. So it's going to be interesting to see if Bivol's going to bite down early on them feints. Or combination, Canelo kind of feels his rhythm out, gets to the body. Bivol kind of leaves his elbows a little wide for my liking. I don't like the way he leaves his elbows out when he throws punches. But Canelo can get a little. He can get a little wild in there sometimes. Canelo can throw some wide hooks, some wide body shots, and Bivol might be able to counter with them straights. But I think the real telling story of this fight is when both men land their biggest shot. Who reacts worse? I think whoever doesn't react the way they should react when they get hit by the other guy, that's who's going to lose a fight.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Canelo's landing that hook to that body, that'll slow his footwork down. Which is like you said, there's no even argument as to who has the better footwork in this.
Absolutely,
but
Bivol is very in and out. He kind of reminds me of He kind of, and this is not in a disrespectful way, but when you like compare it, he's got like an amateur like style where he's gonna make Canelo fight all 3 minutes. He's very bouncy on his toes, 1-2, 1-2. Back, you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see Canelo deal with a guy with that pedigree.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is that at times it does look kind of robotic. And if Canelo could pick up a pattern, it could be lights out. You know what I'm saying? Because that the punches you don't see are the ones that really hurt you. And if he could pick up a pattern and counter punch you and you won't see the punch coming, it could be a very, very long night for Dimitri Bivol. But I see it like it was going to be a close fight. But did you end up giving your prediction?
Cinnamon must fall.
No way. So you're picking Bivol?
I'm picking Bivol by a split majority decision.
Wow.
I'm picking Bivol by unanimous.
I'm picking it by a split decision. This is going to be a real tit for tat match. But the difference is, and Truth was talking about this earlier. Truth and the I can't even talk. And the Diggs brothers. Shout out to all three of those brothers, incredible people. They brought up the fact that Canelo will really fight the last 30 seconds. He'll unload the last 30 seconds, but I don't think that's going to be enough to wipe out the entire 2 minutes and 25 seconds that Bivol is going to be fighting around. I think Bivol's just going to be a little quicker on the trigger. I think he got the faster hand speed. I think Canelo, when it comes to single shots, is a lot faster and a lot sharper. But I think Bivol's a little bit quicker when it comes to the combination punches.
Okay, all right.
Aren't they picking Canelo to win though?
I don't know.
I think Ray's picking Canelo. I think Rich is picking Canelo. I think Ray's actually kind of leaning on Bivol. He's really impressed with him. Lefty's picking Bivol. Eson's picking Bivol. I'm picking Bivol.
Yo, a lot of people picking Bivol, man. Like a lot, and the people from Chicken Talk, we are an educated bunch, and a lot of people picking Bivol. I'm still picking Canelo, but again, I'm like you guys. I can definitely see a scenario where he loses. I can see
because
it.
that's a real light heavyweight, right?
Real light, number 2 light heavyweight in the world. Great footwork. I know VV's hard on him, calls him Divo, but he's actually not that bad of a puncher. He does have punching power, and again, he's a naturally bigger guy, so he can hurt.
Hey, Vivi, are you trying to bet? Hey, Hitman and Vivi, are you guys trying to place a bet? I got Canelo.
I already told you, I'm not betting on Canelo until he fight my boy from Houston.
We definitely betting on that one.
Yeah, man.
I already got a $200 bet on it. Joel, I guess I'll bet you. I'll bet you $100 on that. $20.
$20.
Oh, 20. Oh, all right.
Yeah, we could do more. We could do more, but I'm just saying, like, if you just want to, just for
Broadway.
That depends if I have a date that
Broadway. Bet him 100. If it ends up losing, I got you. I'll pay you 100 just because you put. I'm telling you, if Nelo and Charlo fight, put 100 and say that if Nelo does lose, I'll pay you those 100 because I told you, man, I'm that confident Canelo's gonna run through that dude. That line, sure. That's
easy work. I'm not even him. Eddie and Benavidez
like Eddie said, man, make sure he takes care of the greatest Polish boxer on June 18th, and then we'll get a fight. Make sure he takes care of Selecki. He looks decent. He doesn't have a war with him.
Well, your boy Munguia didn't want the fight. Your boy Munguia and his team didn't seem to want the fight to happen, so blame them.
Hey, that's Munguia. That's Munguia.
BB, look at Munguia right here.
Listen.
This is
Munguia. Look at Munguia. All right, what's up, Munguia?
24-year-old. Listen.
Oh, now he's a 24-year-old. He's been a world champion since he was 21. Come on, stop. You was just big upping him on the space the other day. Don't try to discredit him now.
Hey,
Nah,
that's
you know
Munguia, man.
exactly.
That's
Nah, we know. I
Munguia.
already know
That's
this game. You're trying
Munguia.
to play polo. The hitman
Nah,
knows you
listen,
way too well.
listen. Just make
Nope,
sure. Just
nope.
tell
The
your guy to
hitman
take
knows
care of
you way
Selecki.
too well.
Then they can line him up
Hey,
with
hey,
Taylor
hey, hey,
Truax
nothing. Hey,
or
Yo, but
nothing. The
either.
how
hitman is
about you
not
Hey,
tell your
hearing
boy
hey,
it.
bro,
Anything
is
you're
Munguia?
Kid
talking about,
Chocolate
the hitman
fighting?
is not listening to.
Bro, is Kid Chocolate
The
still fighting
hitman.
nowadays?
Hey, Polo, Selecki a Euro bum.
Hey, no, Selecki's the greatest Polish boxer to ever lace the mama. Forget Andrew Goleta.
Hey,
Forget.
Vivi, tell me what the
I don't
hardest
even.
puncher at 135 pounds is doing. Besides
Well,
getting
you know,
knocked
he
out by
he
Devin Haney's
unfortunately
leftovers.
lost against Zaur Abdullayev in February,
Yeah,
but that's
Devin
cool.
Haney's leftovers from 3 years ago. And that's the hardest puncher at 135
Lord
pounds.
Devin Haney is gonna be undisputed soon, so that's cool.
Haney is the
The only
greatest.
reason why you're saying that is because he
Haney's the
beat up on
greatest puncher.
Linares.
I'm picking Cambosos.
Bro, the greatest
I'm
puncher.
going with Haney.
Hey, the greatest. Haney's a puncher? God damn, I didn't even see him hurt Gamboa's feelings.
Hey, that's the most boring ass fight ever.
Or Linares.
Yo, that's the funniest
That
shit
was the
Polo
most
ever
boring ass
said.
fight.
He said Haney's a puncher. I never even seen
Yo,
him hurt
I think
Balboa's feelings.
that man. Yo, that fight was so
Yo,
horrible that I got a refund for the zone's month. Hey, that fight was so terrible that I got a refund for the zone for that month specifically and the whole
they should.
pandemic.
They
Yeah,
should.
that fight kind of just said, you know what, I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, man. Yo, but guys,
No,
I
they're
gotta
putting
hop
fights
off.
like that on. Then definitely, man, you should.
Guys, I gotta hop off. Shout out to VV, Hitman, Truth, Polo, Clev. Even though I had to kick him off for saying some wild shit.
What did he say?
Gusto. He said that
Oh my
Canelo
God.
ducked Deverenchenko. That's why he got stripped by the IBF. I had to kick him off. And Clev is my guy, but that's some wild shit, man.
Hey, man, just watch the Jack Lane Derevchenko fight, and that should tell you everything you need to know. Just watch Jack Lane versus Derevchenko.
Nah, I
and that
watched
should tell you
Derevchenko beating up on Gimmick.
That was a good fight, by the way.
That was a good fight, but bro, Derevchenko did not look good in his last fight. So that's what surprised me, like against Jack Lane.
Yeah, because he went through. Listen, he didn't look good in his last fight because he had to face the wrath of the Jamal the Hitman Charlo.
Yo, but guys, I gotta hop off. I've been
all right,
for
Juan,
the last like 10 minutes. I appreciate you guys hopping on though.
Hey,
peace.